I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth.
And this is Folkloric, a bi-weekly podcast that will take a look at all the things in this world that make humans feel insignificant and scared.
Or virile and fertile, depending on the culture.
We will talk about the stories, the magic, and the cryptids.
Oh my.
And discuss their significance in culture and society. Each episode will focus on one subject.
Though tangents should be expected.
And we will learn about the history and the lore behind those subjects. And maybe have some silly fun along the way. So tune in every other Sunday and find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Hey friends, it's time again for that wonderful thing we do, Once More with Feelings. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth, and we are a podcast which watches movies and talks about our feelings and other things as well.
All the feels. This movie has it brought flashbacks of uncomfortable feelings, but we'll get to that. We did Pretty in Pink, 1986.
Yes, it's a 1986 American teen romantic comedy drama about love and social cliques in American high schools in the 1980s. The film stars Molly Ringwald alongside Harry Dean Stanton, John Cryer and Annie Potts, James Spader, and Andrew McCarthy.
Well, it's one of the few cult classics that actually was successful its first round. Most cult classics crash and burn when they first are released. And it's the true fans that I love it, and it becomes popular. But this one was popular from the get-go.
Yeah, it's commonly identified as a Brat Pack film, although I take issue with that. There are a few people in there that are Brat Pack.
Yes.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Annie Potts is too old to be
Or not several of them, actually. There's only one.
Yeah.
I guess you could count James Spader. But Andrew McCarthy was in that realm.
Yeah.
The film follows high school senior Andy Walsh and her relationships with her love interest, Blaine McDonough, and her best friend, Philip F. Ducky Dale. Honestly, I don't like saying that.
No, but she does call him Philip at one point.
And her father. So that is the wiki abbreviated. I did not want to do the whole thing.
We have two special guests with us. Blue Regard the Chunky is once again in the studio, as well as Edwina Alice Poe. This little monkey here has to stay with me all times because she's still a bottle baby. And,
yes, and
Blue Regard
Cheese.
the Chunky, aka Baby Cheese, is he's a stalker.
Yep.
Cat boy. He is the man of many names. So if you hear noise, that's what that is. This movie, yeah, so I was saying before, I actually, this was my first time watching it all the way through. Because it was never a movie I wanted to watch all the way through. And I had reasons.
So you've never actually seen the movie?
Not all the way through. I've seen parts of it, yes. And no, this was my first time sitting through it.
I did not know that.
I made a point of not telling you that because I figured it'd be more interesting to bring it up on the podcast of why.
Oh, okay.
I know this takes place in the 80s, and I went to high school in the 90s, but it was the early 90s. I went to a very rich high school, and I was one of the poor kids in that rich high school. This movie, it smacks of the delineation between the poor and the rich kids. It is what I experienced to a certain degree. It was a lot of the biases, the way people treated each other. In my high school, if I got invited to a party because I went with one of my friends who happened to live on the cusp, she pretended to be one of the rich kids, but was so not a rich kid in her at all. But she could pass because she dressed that way. She managed to pull it off. And she would bring me with her to these parties. And much like Molly Ringwald, I felt I would get angry. I felt out of it. The comments, the snide remarks, I didn't fit in. So I stopped going anywhere. And needless to say, I am no longer friends with her. Yeah, that's part of why I had not seen this movie. And watching it brought a lot of that back. A lot of my memories and anger towards my high school years.
Well, if you'd watched it earlier, you would have had a precursor to your high school years.
Probably. I would have been too
You would
young.
have been like, oh,
no,
I see what's going to happen.
I
I'm prepared
didn't
now.
know.
I brought a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Well, see, in 86, I was still oblivious. And 88, because let's see, 86, I was 12. So I wasn't thinking about what high school was going to be like. And then when I got to high school, I wouldn't have, this movie would have been like, oh gosh, that's a horrible experience. I'm not the pores. I mean, I am the pores, but I'm not the pores. And then in high school, it would have just made me angry. It really would have been, because I would have been like, you motherfuckers. Because I didn't have she was a lot braver than I was. She stood up for herself and said shit. And I didn't. I was the introverted, shy kid. I didn't say things to stand up for myself. Did I go out of my way to try to fit in? Fuck no. But I also knew that I stood out. You know, when you're poor and you can't buy the expensive clothes, you embrace your poorness by dressing weird.
So the question about how did you feel when you first saw this movie is going to be not anything from you.
I was apprehensive.
Isn't that this the first time you've seen it?
Yes, I was apprehensive.
Oh, okay. It's the first and last time you've seen this movie.
Yes.
The first time I saw this movie was when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was certainly kind of an eye-opener. It's as far as like Ducky was the icon.
Uh-huh.
I know they say the film is iconic, but honestly,
Ducky's the man.
For me, it's Ducky is the icon in that iconic film.
I have issues with Ducky, but
Sure.
I also love Ducky. Bleh, I can't get to say it.
Ducky is he's not a perfect archetype.
No.
He is flawed. He has his issues.
He's a kid.
Sure. But also he is a product of the generation.
Mm-hmm.
He's also a product of the like anti-societal part of that generation.
New
and,
wave,
you know,
edgy.
With that you're going to get, I don't know, a lot of rehashing of things. And we'll go over that.
Yeah.
As you said, this film it reeks of social class and identity. Those are the things that are overarching even above romanticism.
Oh, definitely.
So we're talking about the type of movie that kind of ignores the conventions of the love story, which is, for John Hughes, kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's breaking any barriers here with this. And this was screenwritten by John Hughes, and it was directed by Howard Deutsch. So those two people made this film possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I have issues with some of John Hughes' films.
Well, yeah.
But only really in retrospect. Like,
as an adult, like you don't see it then. Like,
before
Breakfast
you don't
Club,
know.
I did not see the issues with the Breakfast Club until as an adult looking back and seeing, oh my God.
Oh no, I saw all of that. Those were like very drawn.
But even then I was very young. And
although I think some people missed some of the things.
I missed a lot of the abuse on all the levels.
Let's not talk about the Breakfast Club.
No, but I'm just saying I missed all of the levels of abuse.
We can talk about that later when we watch it and we talk about it on the show.
Because that's basically what that movie is about. But that's my personal opinion.
The screenplay was inspired, as you'd said before, by the Psychedelic Furs, Pretty in Pink.
Yep.
Go figure.
Though they did change the song a bit for the movie, but it was the original version that it was inspired by.
Right.
And yes, Molly Ringwald hated that dress. And honestly, she said, so apparently it was a major bone of contention for her. I'm not sure how they convinced
You're
her.
talking about the prom dress, not
Yes.
the mini dresses she wore.
Oh yeah,
throughout
no, the
film.
prom dress, the dress. So as my grandmother, who was a redhead of the same color as Molly Ringwald when she was younger, redheads shouldn't wear red or pink. But that was her own personal opinion, and I've always had that in the back of my head. That's a color. Those are two colors that just should not be on a redhead. Probably orange as well, but those were her two that she would always complain about. Yeah, that dress was not. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't flattering. I could see it maybe being prettier if it had more fit to it, but it was not a flattering dress for her. I wish they had done something prettier for her.
Right.
Can't say pretty in pink and then put her in a freaking pink potato sack.
It was not a great dress.
No.
There were pieces that were probably okay.
I like the lace.
Yeah, were probably okay. Although I don't like the top.
See, I liked the lace.
No, I mean where it connects to the neck. It should have been underneath that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's fine.
But I like I said, fitted though. That as a fitted with a bodice or something that was more
fitted would have been more appropriate. That was a potato sack.
And I get it. Yes, in that time in the 80s, the layering and the looser clothes that was a thing. But
that was not. That is that straight, dress was those not. Those were straight lines down.
Yeah, this isn't the 20s.
And nothing like what she drew.
No, nothing at all. And how did she get that from those two dresses?
I know.
Because they weren't even the same shades of pink.
Well, I think that was supposed to be a layering. It's okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we open in the movie. It is supposed to be in Chicago, Illinois. Where is it at?
It's filmed in Los Angeles. Right. But it's supposed to be in a suburb outside of Chicago.
Right. It opens with the street Zamboni paving the ice in the streets.
I miss street sweepers. I still don't think they exist anymore.
They do. They're automated now. They're run by robots. And,
like those little ones you see in the food stores.
And if you see them, they kill you. Or they wipe your mind. I'm not sure.
Or the ones in the hospitals. I like the ones in the hospitals because they talk to you.
I've only been killed by one of them, so I couldn't tell you all the types.
I was dead at the time.
So, Andy is the mother to her father. Mm-hmm. And this is...
I did write that. Andy's the parent.
Yeah. The trope. It's the trope of the poor girl is taking care of her parent. Yep. Usually the father.
Either one is dead or took off.
Or abusive or something. He is not abusive. At least in this case, he's just, I guess, sad. Mm-hmm. Really depressed. But honestly, how is he making anything happen if he's...
I know, because he made a comment about working part-time, and I'm thinking, then how do you keep anything in that house? But then again, it was 86.
It was the 80s. A couple $100 could get you far, kid.
Yeah, well, a couple $100,000 still can't get us anywhere.
Yeah, but not now. But back then, you could fund the world with a couple $100. You could
buy a car.
A cup of coffee would feed a child. That's what they say.
She's biting the fire out of my hand.
So there is a rift. Obviously, we see it at the very first, the dynamics in the school. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think they could have benefited more, not just from the school, but also seeing the dynamics between the adults. But they didn't really show that. And they really should have, because I think that is a social class is something we pass down.
Yeah, I was going to say, they learned it from somewhere.
It's a trauma we pass down to our children. Mm-hmm. The socialized classes of, the rich versus the poor, it's going to be passed down. You don't see any parents, you just see her parent. You see Annie Potts. Now, to me, Annie Potts, other than Ducky, is the reason to watch the film.
Oh, yeah.
Because Annie Potts is a chameleon throughout the entire thing. She's a punk one minute, she's a preppy the next.
Yeah. She's got that 40s look going on for a minute.
Yeah, you really don't know what she's going to do, but she cares about Andy. She's kind of the stand-in mother in a way, but really more like the big sister. And
see, that was how I was in high school, depended on how I felt that day. One day I'd come in dressed like I walked out of the 40s, or another day I'd come in dressing like I was part of the trench coat mafia before the trench coat mafia existed. I used to wear a daisy tucked into my hair. I mean, it was a plastic daisy, but I wore it all the time. Then I discovered spandex and contact lenses, and then all bets were off on that one too. So I mean, it really, I appreciated that character because even though she was not one of the kids in the school, that was something I related to. I was always changing.
Yeah, but here's the thing, is that Annie's character is the honeypot. Mm-hmm. She is a mislead because if you pay attention to what's happening in the film, she adapts to whoever she's dating.
Yeah, she has no personality. But that was it. I didn't have a personality. I adapted. I became who other people wanted me to be. Because again, I didn't know. It's the introvert, shy child.
Right.
So
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to these characters because the archetypes are not direct in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Ducky is not direct.
No.
You think he's one thing, he's really actually something else.
Mm-hmm.
There are nuances in these characters I don't think were necessarily intended by the writer, by John Hughes. But I think the actors made them their own and kind of maybe pushed their own personalities into them.
Oh, yeah. And I I pointed it out to you. Harry Dean Stanton in 1986 looks like what David Tennant is going to look like in maybe 15 years.
Right. So how I felt, since I never actually said, upon first seeing the film, was annoyed. I was very annoyed at the fact that she wasn't allowed to really have a personality. Mm-hmm. Annie was just withdrawn.
Yeah.
That's the way she was.
Yeah.
Being depressed is great, but you get no sense of Annie from anything that's happening.
No.
You don't know where you know that she's wanting to be a designer. But that's it. That's like a standard trope for many movies.
And she takes a lot of shit from her classmates.
But you don't get a sense of what she likes, what kind of music she likes, who she is. This is that thing of like, remember when on the very first broadcast we did, which was...
almost a year ago.
Yeah, it was about a year ago. And we talked about how the character in the film...
Oh, in Son-in-Law, yeah.
Yeah, went to college, but you didn't know why.
Yeah.
We don't know why Annie is doing anything.
Oh, yeah. Why are they picking on her other than the fact that the only precursor to those girls starting shit with her in that class was her clothing. There was
which,
no...
by the way, isn't ratty clothing.
No, there was nice...
It's styled.
Again, I was the poors. I wore ratty clothing. That shit was nice. It was
nice clothes. It was styled. Mm-hmm. It was better than the clothes they were wearing, which maybe
came from J.C. Penney's.
Maybe you could say that was the reason why or something.
Sorry, Macy's.
But I think that Annie when I saw this, what I thought was, I don't understand why she is the lead.
Yeah.
Now, I understand why Molly Ringwald is the lead. I do not understand why Andy is the lead. And the only thing I think is they couldn't make Ducky the lead.
No, because...
They just couldn't figure out how to make that happen.
I'm a little mad that John Cryer was not first choice for Ducky. That it was written for Anthony Michael Hall.
Sure.
Because I can't picture Anthony Michael Hall doing it.
Probably not. No.
And he didn't want to do it because of Breakfast Club. And then he did come back for 16 Candles, but for Breakfast Club, he didn't want to be typecast as the nerdy kid. But he ended up playing the nerdy kid in 2 out of 3.
He was quite typecast by that time.
Yeah.
So my thing is I was trying to negotiate my own identity. Mm-hmm. Social class wasn't really that important to me because I don't care about people's social classes. So whatever they have, the idea they have in their head about their social class doesn't really affect me at all because I just ignore it and do what I want.
Yeah.
That is not because I have some better sense of propriety or I have a better sense of myself or whatever. It's just because autism, I don't think about it. It's not something I'm ever going to figure out how to deal with. People who feel they're in authority that are not as smart as me, I cannot maintain respect for. And it's the same thing with peer groups. I don't care how rich you are. If you have no ability,
Yeah.
you're useless to me.
I didn't know that there was even such, I mean, granted, bullying happened all my life, but it was never based on socioeconomic as far as I had known. And when I went to high school and I saw this disparity between the kids who did come in with the high-end cars and the designer clothes, because of course that was the part of that generation of designer clothing being still all the shit. And knowing that I was never going to have that. And I still thought maybe they would not treat people that way. Like that was just a movie thing that you saw on TV.
I think it's a privilege thing more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's a way for the kids to feel like they have control. So they'll exert their privilege upon kids who do not have privilege, and that gives them some sense of place. But if you're a kid that doesn't really follow those conventions or even understand them, it doesn't help you. I didn't understand them until years later. I look back on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's what was happening.
I was just like, oh, my God, these people are just assholes. Just real assholes.
I mean, that's generally what it is, though.
Well, yeah, because in high school, you don't understand that the rest of the... So you have, you've got this cohort of your life, unless you move around a lot. You go to school with these kids, you start kindergarten with them, and you go through every grade level with them. And when you're in high school, you think you're adults, but you're not. But you're feeling like you are, because you go, I'm an adult, I'm a redult, throw that table. But you don't understand that when high school is over, this is not what the real world is like. So the shit and disgustingness of high school is that these are people who just don't understand, and they're the immature, the brain's lack of development at that point, and you can't explain it to them because they won't listen to you. That's why there's still people who do go out of high school and act like they are still in high school, because they just don't grasp that reality isn't like this. People aren't really like this.
So I went through this movie thinking about one thing that really just kept coming back to me over and over. How the fuck did we find each other in the 80s? Like, how did your friends find you? How did you just run into people in the streets? I mean, you're at a record store, someone else shows up at the record store and goes, hey, how's it going? That's not their part of town. It makes no sense. Why is he here? Why is a Lizard King walking into a record store to say hi to Andrew? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Weekend at Bernie's, but there's no Bernie. They're there, and you're like, why? Why are both of them in this little record store that no one would have walked into that was dressed like them?
Yeah. Oh, and it's David Spader's character, or sorry, not David Spader, James Spader. Wrong Spader. I do love David Spader, but not.
You mean David Spade?
David Spade. I knew what I meant. I've done that for years.
There's a guy who spades, and there's the spade that the guy spades with.
Okay.
You have the spade and you have the spader.
The spade in this. Well, we all and you know who's the spade and who's the spader in this situation. Well,
That's
the
not
spader.
The Lizard King.
So James Spader, Steph, he's just walking by and he sees Blaine.
Stephanie, yes.
Yes, he sees Blaine. And I mean these names.
That's why I'm using Andrew, because I just can't use Blaine seriously. Blaine, could you pass the Grey Poupon?
Yeah. Again, I love James Spader because he exudes. So they wanted him to play Blaine, and he's like, no, I'm the bad guy, and he is. And
he's really kind of this really casual asshole.
So I I love him, and I love him for two things that just make me just go, yes. And these are things he's done later in life. That show, what was it, Boston Legal, the one he did with William Shatner?
Sure.
Fucking loved him on that show. And he was a good guy of sorts.
I think I've seen one episode.
Oh, the weird relationship between him and William Shatner. Like, they are each other's true loves. They really are. Oh, it's such a good show. But regardless, him on The Office.
Yeah, I said Lizard King.
Yeah. Because he's so many flavors of fucked up, and I have to sit there and go, is this a character or is this actually James Spader? I can't tell the difference, and I love that.
I don't think you're meant to know the difference.
James Spader is like, personality-wise, when it comes to like that kooky off-the-wall weirdo shit, is like a young Christopher Walken. Like on that off-the-wall cuckoo batshit crazy.
So this story is about friendship.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of things that it's about. It's about class divide, and it's about friendship. Does it do the friendship well? No, it does not. Does it point out the hypocrisy of friendship? Yes, it does. Also, does it point out this movie, more than any other movie I have seen in the 80s, points out the Miami Vice of it all better than anyone I have ever. I mean, if they had had someone from Miami Vice come in and dress everyone, it would not have looked this Miami Vice. There was so much prep in there that
many rolled up sleeves.
I was distracted.
Pegged pants. And I can't even say jeans because they were wearing Dockers. Yeah. Fucking pegged pants, polo shirts.
I was completely distracted by the bad clothing. And not because I didn't live through it, but because I did live through it and still didn't see that much.
So I didn't notice Ducky was the only male I saw wearing socks. I didn't really look at the other guys, but no socks and loafers.
I mean, they were kind of aiming at everybody's waist.
I'm just saying that would have been like the epitome of the Miami Vice-ness of it all.
But I think that, that plus the hats.
Oh my God, the hats.
Hats everywhere.
So many hats.
I forgot about the hats. Sure, everyone wears ball caps now.
Yeah, but we're
talking about hats, not caps.
No, we wore hats when I was in school. It was like really, really...
Straight up. Like 6 on...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of hats, man. I don't understand the need. Now, I'm not saying they're bad.
No.
Actually, on Ducky, I think they work great with his hairstyle.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Perfect. Andy? Mm-hmm. Liked him on Andy as well.
I love her hair. I love her. I kept looking at her hair going, am I too old to pull that cut off?
But the people in the background, I'm like... There's too many hats here.
Too many hats.
There's way too many hats. Where is the haberdashery in this place? That's where you need to work.
And there was a huge... So, granted, again, big school that I went to, even our population of wackadoos that I belonged to, we were still not that big. I mean, there were a lot of us, but we were definitely outnumbered. That town could not have had a thrift store big enough to have clothed all those kids.
Yeah, no. So I'm sure they had to make most of those things just look like it was.
Yeah. There's probably like a handful of actual rich kids who just who like grungied up their shit just so they could fit in because they didn't want to be seen as the rich kids.
Well, I know Annie Potts probably emptied out merry-go-round all by herself. There's a flashback for
you. Because, I mean, these are the early pre-Hot Topic days when Hot Topic actually sold mostly clothes.
Right. So, yeah, we have the friendship, Ducky's friendship with Andy, which is based almost entirely on his need to have sex with her.
Yeah, there's an unrequited love / stalker-ish.
You say unrequited love, and I know that's what they imply.
But he comes off as a stalker.
But he's so hormoned up. I mean... He's an ADHD kid.
He is.
And undiagnosed and untreated.
Oh my God.
And there are a few times I was very much cringed from watching this. And I've seen this a few times, not recently, not even the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But I saw this several times when I was younger, not a kid. I was older in 86.
Mm-hmm.
I was like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And I've seen this in the 90s and didn't have this kind of cringe. And so I know either my view has changed or the film has, and guess what? It wasn't the film.
No.
So it's just really startling to see how Ducky treats people.
Yeah.
And how they treat him back. They keep forgiving him. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Ducky. I love the idea of Ducky more than I love the reality of Ducky.
Yeah, I see that. Ducky, and I put this in my notes too, he was the guy who I wished I could have hung out with and I probably would have crushed on.
Okay, I'll say this. I love Ducky less than I love John Cryer. I love John Cryer much more because that's the reason why I love Ducky.
I love John Cryer as Maxwell Hauser, not as the adult him in Hiding Out, but as the teenage version of him, even though it's still an adult version, pretending to be a teenage version. We won't get into that right now.
Oh my God. Let's not talk about that film. We have to talk about it.
I know. I literally,
thing.
I wrote down, I only wrote down 2 movies, but I had to write down my 2 favorite movies, one from John Cryer and one from Molly Ringwald, because Hiding Out, hands down, my favorite.
Absolutely. Mine too. But also the most problematic.
Oh, definitely.
But we'll go over that later.
Didn't John Cryer do a movie where he was a rich kid whose family was like really disappointed in him and he had to like prove, or they left him alone, or I don't know what. I have this like memory of
I think you're thinking of Tommy Boy.
I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking of, honest to God. So what's your favorite Molly Ringwald movie?
Breakfast Club.
For keeps.
Yeah, it's Breakfast Club. That's my heart.
I
Breakfast Club is my all-out teenage heart. It is everything to me.
I think it's because for me it's For Keeps, and once again, I must come off as like sounding like such a sad child sometimes, but as a kid, being that I thought I was not going to do anything with my life other than have children and, be a mom, I like that movie because she got to have a baby. But I also appreciated the hardship of it. It was not, she was a teenage mom and she was kicked out of her house, and then, they're trying to do this on their own, and the ups and the downs. That to me is just a really good movie.
Absolutely. Well, this is a coming of age film.
Yes.
Not quite the responsible coming of age as having a child. But this one is about figuring out your place, not just within society, but within your peer groups.
Yeah.
And I guess the prom is kind of the test. That's their test in this movie of whether or not you have the stones to be your own person. Because the premise is that Blaine, Andrew McCarthy... By the way, Andrew McCarthy had to wear a wig for this entire movie.
I thought it was only for the end of the movie.
No, it was this entire movie. He wore it on his crotch. He was trying to keep his balls warm. Very weird. I don't know why he did that, but he did it. No, he had to wear a wig in the movie.
Yes.
And you don't really notice it that much. Everyone has floppy hair, so I guess it's easy to get by.
Yeah, he had shaved it for another movie.
For a play.
Yeah, for a play. And I think he had lost weight.
Yeah.
Yes, he was kind of emaciated looking compared to the rest of the movie. He was adorable. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And again,
But also milquetoast. He and Andy actually were made for each other.
I know.
In the way that Blaine and Andy have no... And I hate to say this because I love Molly Ringwald. Mm-hmm. I think she's a brilliant actress. I think she does a great job. I like Andrew, too. I like a lot of things he did outside of Bernie's. But.
Yeah. I like Bernie's.
I'm not a big Weekend at Bernie's fan. Although I have to say, when they get into the third or fourth films,
mm-hmm.
It really builds up potential.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
So
I think that those two were made for each other in the way that they are as bland as possible.
Mm-hmm.
However, I have issue with Ducky hooking up with Christy Swanson. Not because she's not adorable, but because he would never hang out with her in real life. Those are two diametrically opposed people.
Yes.
But I think that Ducky was never meant to be with Andy,
No.
and that is fine. I was worried when I first saw this film that Ducky and Annie, well, Iona, were going to get together.
Oh yeah, that would have been way weird.
That would have been weird. I thought it was funny that they gave him like the superpower of his kiss.
I know.
So she could be like stunned by it, which was kind of funny. But also Annie is an adult and they are children.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole dynamic back then was very sweet. Right now seems very cringy.
Yeah.
Now they keep it pretty much on the up and up, but there are these parts like kissing and the dancing. It's a little bit too familiar, you know? And it's a little bit weird. Not saying there's anything wrong with what Annie is doing in her job as playing Iona, but it's just a product of the times.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they were really thinking about that.
No, and it's the same thing with when we eventually go rant about hiding out. They aren't thinking about the age differences. They're just thinking about.
They should have, man. That's a big step.
And they're just thinking about the story, but not the actual age differences of and the reality of how creepy it is.
I think the differences in the power dynamics were not really noted back then. I think it was pretty much just man and woman because they were doing this really cis heterocentric storytelling, and that allows for a lot of latitude when you give the man all the privileges in the world and the girl is just there to be the thing that is one. And in this movie, Andy is the thing which is one.
Mm-hmm.
Through attrition, because Ducky says, okay, buddy, you can have her.
Well, that's nice of you, my dude.
Yeah. And Blaine is like, hey, I want her. Is that cool? And Ducky's like, yeah, it's cool because I just want to, I'm good. I'll just be friends. I can always put her on my mantle later. Mm-hmm. I don't understand the dynamics there. It was cute when I was younger and did not understand the nuances that needed to be there to really look at this film with adult eyes. However, the people that wrote this were adults.
Yep.
And I don't know if they were just delving too far into the mind of a teenager and weren't really seeing it for what it is. I'm not saying it's a bad film. I'm saying you need to be cognizant of these nuances.
Oh, definitely. You're going to see...
I sound like I'm tearing this film apart.
No,
and I
no.
am.
I mean, I am too.
And I sound like I'm preaching about the film. Let me make this very clear. I like this movie. However, there's always
I have a lot
however.
of feelings about it. And again, I have a lot of...
I don't have an offer-on answer for if I like this movie.
I personally I didn't realize until we started watching it that I kind of had to shut off at a certain point because I was getting myself angry. But again, I have a lot of unresolved issues from the shit that happened to me in high school. So, you know, you'd think at the age of 50...
Most of yours is a classist situation.
Yeah, and you would think at the age of 51 I'd be over it, but I never really dealt with it. So, you know, movies like that kind of make me very edgy and angry because I want to just shake people until their heads will fall off their fucking shoulders. But that's me, and I'm angry, you know. But it's because I feel bad about the kid that I was, and I wish that there was somebody... I defend students I see getting bullied, and I'm a huge advocate for my students. I will fight for them tooth and nail, whether it's with, you know, against other students or against the admin or other teachers. I will defend them. So I want to be the teacher and the person, the adult in their life that I did not have. And so when I see movies like this, and then I start to get into my feels and think about the person that I used to be, I get very angry that there wasn't somebody like me helping me. And again, I'm no big prize, but even if somebody was just there to defend me once in a while, I would think, so I think it's part of why I get angry. Because again, unresolved issues of my past.
Well, I mean, that's what we all have, those things.
Oh, I have a lot.
This is a sore spot for you.
Yeah.
So with Andy,
Oh my God.
she is that quiet, like she's that, I will suffer quietly and keep my dignity kind of situation until it gets too much and then she loses her shit.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's the one time you get some real, like, emotion from her.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like she's mirroring her father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially like when she gets upset about him driving her home.
Right.
She gets very, very upset about that. And you're seeing true emotion because she's getting teary-eyed because he wasn't getting what she was saying. And she was trying to not say, I don't want you to see where I live. She wanted to say it without saying it. Right. And he was just not grasping it.
Well, and he couldn't. He didn't have any idea.
Because he didn't have that background.
Well, he's privileged.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any idea. That's what privilege is. It allows you to not have to experience something. So, yeah. He was never going to be able to understand her pain in that.
Oh, no.
I'm not saying she doesn't have pain and her character does not have pain and have a role in this relationship. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is she's so busy trying to be dignified and to not let things get to her that she comes off as so stoic that no one thinks they're actually hurting her, so they try harder to hurt her.
Oh, yes.
There's a story, I always come back to this, is, the guillotine. The reason why guillotines were ended in France, why they stopped using them as widely, is because when they were being killed, when the aristocracy and others, including like justicars and stuff like that, arbitrators, and tax collectors, when they were being beheaded, one right after the other, they were all going stoically to the guillotine.
Yes. So
it became an event to see them beheaded because no one saw them as human.
Yes.
And then one woman, and I cannot remember her name, and I know it's in history books, so someone will know their names. You can just look it up.
Oh, yes, I do know this one. She freaked the fuck out.
She freaked the fuck out. She cried. She begged. She became human to them, and it was not sport anymore. So in this case, she is not seen as human by her classmates who keep trying to find new ways to make her life miserable.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a very surface level kind of thing where you only see them do it like twice to kind of move the film forward to give you the essence of her being picked on.
Yeah.
Most of the time, she's just by herself.
Yeah.
Why is that? I have no idea, because she seems like a very affable person, and you would think there'd be plenty of people hanging around her. Not even Ducky is out there when Andrew walks up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that as well. But what you were saying though about seeing, not seeing them as human, we get that a lot even now of how people are not seen as human, so it's so easy to hurt them. It's so easy to take away what they have because so many people. It's easier to convince yourself that people are lesser than you for various reasons, and we have a lot of that right now.
Yeah, we have supremacy, we have privilege, and people don't like hearing those things.
No, but it's
because
true.
They think that, well, if I have privilege, then you're saying
where's my privilege?
Yeah, you're saying that I think I'm better than you, and I don't. But that's not what privilege is. Privilege is a a verifiable thing.
Yeah.
It is a thing that you have that someone else does not. Using your privilege well means using that privilege to help those below you.
Exactly.
The people who in society are not as privileged as you should be helped with that privilege. If you're doing that, then it's a good thing you have that privilege.
Oh, yeah.
Until you help everyone attain the same level so that there is no privilege, I mean, that's the best way to go about it.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having privilege if you're using it to help others.
I agree.
Or at least, I don't think so. Anyway, in Andy's case, Blaine is looking for her. He keeps coming after her. Now, it's important to note that the Lizard King did hit on Andy at the very start of this
Yes.
whole film. After the street Zamboni, after all of that, the father-daughter taking care of thing,
Yeah.
we have the Lizard King wants to hit on Andy, and Andy shoots him down abruptly.
Yes.
So much so that I think it takes some flop out of his hair.
I know. A couple of the pieces dwindled.
I'd also like to point out that Ducky beats the crap out of him with a slap fight.
It's true.
So the Lizard King can continue thinking he's very cool, and he is, but Ducky beat him up with a slappy fight.
It was quite a girly fight.
Honestly, I wanted some slap bracelets at that point. That would have been funny. I don't know if those were around in 86.
I've seen girls fight harder than those boys were fighting in that movie. Don't! I have a pretty face! Don't hit me!
Not in the Moneymaker. So we have Ducky. His emotional journey is mostly trying to have sex.
I mean...
Not in the Porky's revenge kind of thing.
No.
But in the really horny kid who just can't seem to understand that having a relationship first
leads to sex, not the other way around.
Right. The sex isn't going to bring you the relationship. That's a ridiculous
And
notion.
I do think he does care for Andy. I just
Sure.
think that he doesn't understand what those feelings actually mean. I don't think she even understands it either. Because, like, when her dad is like, are you in love with him? About Blaine. And she's like, yeah, I think so. It's like, okay, you've known him for 2 days. You know? How what? Okay, I get that. They're high schoolers. But still, no. But yeah, Ducky has known her for years. I can get that he thinks he loves her. But he's also in lust with her. And he's also a bit of a stalker and a bit of a creeper. And he also needs to emotionally mature. But he's also funny as shit and a really cool dresser.
Right. And this is the one piece of this movie that gives me goosebumps every time.
It's his dance. That fucking dance.
No, it's the try a little tenderness.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this impromptu style.
Yeah,
kind
I mean,
of
they did it
scene.
multiple times. But
Yeah, but it was
to get
like-
the right one, yeah.
I was like, when I first saw this film, I was mesmerized by that kind of. I was like,
Freedom, like just
No, it was like-
inhibition and
and you can say freedom and inhibition; those two things are true.
mm-hmm.
But to me, I was like, that is such emotional courage. And I thought that when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't have that emotional courage, but that's not true. Years later, in a bar in California, completely unprompted and without any fucking segue whatsoever, and no one I knew in the bar except the bartender, I sang Love Me Tender, the entire thing, along with the Elvis moves.
Nice.
Because I am stupid.
I used to carry.
And everybody thought it was fucking fantastic, but they were day drinkers, so keep that in mind.
I used to go to a bar with a friend of mine, and Jewel was my go-to. I would do Jewel songs. So, there you have it.
Well, it came on the
Yeah.
thing, that's why I sang it. But anyway, it is fantastic. That whole lip sync dance thing that he does, I was like, John, what the hell, man? You're so good at being emotionally courageous.
Oh, yeah. And again, that's...
And he needed more parts that delved into that more than anything else.
Oh.
He had great comedy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his conversation with Andrew Dice Clay was really, I think that's funny.
Yeah, bring it. And Andrew Dice Clay is like
As
a
being like the
nostalgic,
wise man at that moment. You know?
it's a nostalgic sledgehammer.
Oh, shit,
It's
yeah.
like, holy shit, I forgot he existed.
I know. What was it? Ford Fairlane? Was that his movie?
That was his movie, Ford
hell.
Fairlane.
Oh my God! How many?
And I'm ashamed to say I enjoyed it.
And when I was in high school,
did it not have Dottie in it?
It might have had Dottie in it, but when I was in high school, that's what we did. It was we would recite lines from Andrew Dice Clay because that was
we did
shit.
too. We did too. It was horrifying.
It was horrifying.
Looking back on it, I'm like, oh my God, that's terrifying.
That and the Jerky Boys. Oh my God, we were lame. We had memes that we had our memes lived on cassette tapes that we listened to over and over again.
So Ducky's poignancy comes when you see him sitting on a mattress in his room.
Oh, yeah.
And it is just a mattress in his room, and there's little to nothing else in there.
Mm-hmm.
He is obviously living in not great conditions.
Yeah.
And you don't have any sense of who his parents are at all.
Or why. Yeah.
Which is almost purposeful.
Oh, yeah.
Because...
do they exist?
Do they exist? Probably. But do they exist to him in context of his social awareness? Probably not.
No.
And you understand then why he is so desperate to be in love. Not just the horniness, which is what he leads with, which is what he knows.
Yeah, he's looking for touch. He's looking for comfort.
Family.
For that, just that contact with somebody. And he thinks that it's Andy.
As someone who has lived on a mattress in a room, I can relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as a kid or as a broken veteran who came back from war, you know, the tropiest fucking thing I could think of being, I guess. I know what that's like.
Yeah.
To not have any hope.
Yeah.
And you get that from Ducky when he's sitting there and he's trying to get past his anger at Andy.
Yeah.
He's really trying to get past his anger or his idea of Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he should have always been treating her as a friend instead of an object that he's trying to win.
Yeah.
And I think the real hero of that movie isn't when he hands her off, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But when he shows up. When he comes up on the stairs and Andy's alone.
Mm-hmm.
And she's thinking about turning around. I'm crying now. She's thinking about turning around because she wanted to go there. She wanted to prove that she could do it.
Yeah.
She wanted to have the emotional courage to show up to this prom, even though
Blaine
had said he's taking someone else.
Yeah.
Because his friends peer pressured him into it.
Yeah.
The Lizard King and Queen Bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And she's standing in this hallway just devastated because she doesn't know that she can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's about to turn around. And Ducky shows up. He's dressed up and he comes like a knight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he walks up at the top of the stairs and you're like, holy crap, Ducky did it. You know, Ducky's like, but this wasn't the thing that you think it's going to be. It's not going to be Ducky and Andy. But it is Ducky. It's Ducky coming to terms with his own shit.
Oh, yeah.
Even if Andy doesn't. Even if Andy goes with Blaine and they have a perfectly lovely life. Or they have a very vanilla whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
Or she goes on to make everything of herself. This isn't really her journey anymore.
Yeah.
This is Ducky's journey.
So, my senior prom, I had about 4 months prior broke up with a very long-term boyfriend. And so I didn't have a date. And my friend who lived on that cusp of both societies her friend, her boyfriend's friend, said he would take me to the prom. So he was going to buy we have bids. So it was like a ticket, but it was called a prom bid.
Right.
It was the ticket. It was $110. I remember that. $110. And he said he was going to pay for it, and then I was going to help pay for half of it. Because again, we weren't dating, so we were going
Dutch.
And Deutsch. And so it was all good. It was all good until I had a dress and everything. He found out we couldn't get a seat in the limo with my friend and her boyfriend. Little did I know that he had a crush on her. And so I'm not going to the prom. I'm not going to the prom. And I said, okay, fine. It's 2 weeks before the prom. He's like, I'll sell you the prom bid. And I said, well, I don't have the money right now. I have $5. And then I can give you the money as I get it. And he was like, okay. So I gave him the $5 and I said, fuck you. And I never paid him back because you don't drop me on 2 weeks before the goddamn prom.
Yeah,
you
damn straight.
Bitch. I ended up going with one of her other friends. And he was really, really pretty. He made my prom pictures look really nice, but he was an asshole. I don't know what, just these fucking rich kids were just shits left and fucking right. But I didn't realize that proms in movies and TV shows are not like proms elsewhere. And I know that makes it sound like my prom was not like the ones in TVs and movies, but that's the opposite. My prom was exactly like what you see in TV and movies. The big, it's almost like
the choreographed scenes.
Well, no, not the choreographed scenes, but with like, now junior prom was at the intermediate school. They had a really cool cafeteria. It was really nice. But, at my senior prom, we were at a hotel, and I can't remember the hotel, but I want to say it was in Jersey City. Could be wrong. Ocean City, something like that. Don't remember. It was on the ocean. The hotel was on the ocean. It had beautiful archways in it. It was like a giant banquet hall with a dance floor. We had tables with a 3-course meal. We had, actually somebody found it and posted it on our Facebook alumni page. The mugs and the champagne glasses we got as our little, keepsake and it had like our wonderful night or whatever the fuck it was, our theme. And, but yeah, it wasn't until much later on in life where I was talking to a friend and they were talking about their kids going to prom and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, we just drop them off at the high school and, they have prom there. And I'm like, they don't go to a hotel. They don't have a whole, she was like, what do you think this is? 90210? I'm like, yeah, but that was how my prom was. I thought everybody's prom was like they show on TV because again, I had a really big high school, and I guess that was the benefit of going to high school with the rich kids, was our prom was like a rich kid prom. It was just weird.
Okay.
Yeah, so needless to say, I went to my senior prom for $5 and a dream.
We had a rural, it's a rural town. It's not, we didn't have anything big. It was a prom. It was a dance. People danced, they went home.
Yeah.
Or they went and partied or whatever.
Yeah.
I went home. I had to work.
No, I went to a motel party, and then the next morning we went camping and canoeing up the Delaware Water Gap. It was like a long weekend, and we did that. Yeah, because, rich kids.
So there's a lot of she should have chosen Ducky.
Yeah.
Like Andy should have chosen
The
Ducky.
original ending did have him.
Yeah. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Ducky needed to be himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he needed to do that away from Andy. Because his obsessive behavior was just a symptom of other things.
Mm-hmm.
It never would have worked out.
She shouldn't have been with Blaine, though, either. Because, again, Blaine was the kid who stood me up 2 weeks before the prom. And Steph was the asshole I ended up going to the prom with. So, yeah, these kids are, the reality of those personalities, they do exist. And I don't think that she should have gone with Blaine. As somebody who is so willing to be influenced by their friends and to not... She's getting mad at me. She was asleep and then I moved my legs. Somebody who is so willing to turn their back on you. They think you like this person, and because your friends tell you, you're so influenced by your peers that you don't care about what you feel. That's not a person that you need to be with, because they're too fickle, and easily swayed. No.
I get that.
Yeah, so I just don't think she should have been with Blaine either.
Something I noticed in the film that I had not noticed previous to this when I was a kid is that Andy and Blaine, during the first party that they go to at his friend's house, they're both sitting on the cuck chair.
Oh, in the bedroom?
Yes. No one else? Just me? I'm the only one that noticed that?
That's funny.
Because, that was exactly... I mean, there's no other reason to have that chair in there.
No.
I mean, it was a big chair, too, so it was for an audience.
It's for an audience.
It was
for entertainment purposes only.
It was road seating. Just something I noticed. I thought I'd bring that up.
That's funny.
But, yeah, so this is a prom movie that really isn't about prom.
Nope.
It is a love story. It's not really about love.
No.
It is a high school story that's not really about high school.
Not really.
None of these make it a bad movie.
No.
None of these make it a terrific movie. But what it does do is make it an iconic movie, because despite all of its flaws, I think that you really get a sense...
You can resonate with somebody.
Right. You get a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
With each of the characters. Even with Steph, the Lizard King, you get a sense of...
Sorry, the Lizard King.
Of who he is and what you see him as in the future. Because you can always picture people.
CEO of some cracked out freaking inside trading bullshit is what that is.
In prison. That's where he will be. In prison. Rich, but in
doing
prison.
Some spinning with Michael J. Fox and,
But I think that you really you get to know the people that are playing the characters. You get to know the actors.
After rehab and years of just coming to terms in therapy, he ends up a lawyer working in Boston where he meets his true love, where it's just love. It's definitely just love.
Okay, so it's going to be...
It's not gay, though.
Okay. Remember that show Boston Commons? That was a good show.
No, I don't remember that one.
It's a comedian. He's Southern. He was in Boston. That was about it.
Oh, okay.
It's not much more than that. Anyway, it was funny. It was a funny little show. I just said that because Boston
Legal.
Yeah. But you get a sense of who everyone is, and you get that whole thing of that courage.
Oh, yeah.
Not just emotional courage, but sometimes it's just outside of that, the courage of one's own convictions.
And Andy does have that courage. Like I said, I never was as brave as she is.
No, she slams Blaine up against the thing. I thought she was going to really do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm impressed by her. Yeah, that's just...
She almost knocked his wig off.
His crotch wig.
It's crotch wig. Keeps it warm.
Ew.
But... Yeah, Andy does... I mean, I think there are a lot of times where she isn't... Because it is being so heavily played in the poignancy and the dignity of her character, you get little feedback on...
Sorry, crotch wig. Talk Soup back in the day. Lucy Lawless did a sketch with Misha Collins, and they come out and he's modeling muffs. Muff warmers.
There you go.
And that reminded me of that, and I can't get that out of my head. Okay, I'm done.
You just referenced Talk Soup, so that's sad.
Because I'm old. So, needless to say, I don't hate this movie either. I just, again, I have yet to, I need therapy. I like, that was the other thing I was going to mention. Ducky, when they throw him in the girls' bathroom. That's another iconic Ducky scene. You have doors in here and a candy machine.
I know. The candy machine's always fun. So the music is very much 80s.
Yeah.
We have the Smiths as Echo and the Bunnymen.
Oh yeah, it's new wave. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, New Order. We got Psychedelic Furs, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Otis Redding, which is,
different, but
different, but for a reason. We have orchestral maneuvers.
Oh yes.
In the dark.
Which was written for the movie as well.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. It's always very like emotional when I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to sing to it, but you also want to cry to it.
Yeah, but here's we were talking. So we were out today, and a song came on the radio on our XFM Sirius XM. Oh my God, my brain is not working today.
This is not a.
No, it's not an advertisement, but it would be lovely if they did.
This is not sponsored.
Yeah, not a sponsor, but would be nice. And the song Electric Blue by, holy shit, I've already forgotten the name of the band. The Ice House. Ice House, okay. And I said, I know this song.
Which sounds more like a beer company.
It does.
Yeah.
But I know the song when I hear the song, and I know a lot of songs and a lot of song names and a lot of musicians. I really love music, but there's some of them that just I can't wrap my brain around. And that's one of them, where I know the song when I hear it, but if I see it written out or if somebody mentions it, I'm going to be like, I don't fucking know that song. That song for this movie, Overture, Maneuvers, whatever it is, I would not know. I couldn't tell you. Even though you literally just said it 3 times, I could not tell you that was the name of the group who wrote that song.
Yeah.
Because I cannot bring my brain to...
No, it would be impossible because, you keep thinking like...
Kajagoogoo lives in my head rent-free.
Other bands that from that era, and let's face it, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark...
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
I mean, that's a fucking mouthful.
Were you trying to do Electric Light Orchestra, but you just really got it backwards?
Yeah, OMD, I guess is what you're going to have to say.
Yeah, and it's funny because in one of the articles, because I know that song is in a movie, and I just can't find it, and apparently I'm not the only other person who's thought that, but in the articles I was looking at, they say the name, and then the rest of the times it was OMD. Because who wants to write out orchestral maneuvers in the dark?
Which I think is just sex.
Banana in the dark.
No. That's always going to be a thing now.
Always.
So, how do you feel about this film right now? After the movie, the first time you've seen it all the way through.
Frustrated.
Still
frustrated, but
yeah, it didn't change.
Need therapy. But I'm not a kid anymore, so for me, it's not something I'm going to want to relive. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, let's watch Pretty in Pink. It's just not a thing I can see myself actively wanting to participate in. If it's on, I'll probably watch it as much as I watch anything.
Yeah.
But I won't go actively looking for it.
So here's a fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the few times I do not identify with the lead character who is female. I don't identify with Andy.
No.
I identify with Iona.
Okay.
Always have. She was dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
She was always changing. And for me, she was just like the thing that Andy should be aiming for.
Yes. And we'll see, and that was the point when I was doing my research. That was what the point was. She was supposed to be her female mentor. She was supposed to be who Andy was going to want to emulate.
As a kid, I didn't really understand that Iona is actually changing herself for other people.
Yes.
Didn't understand that.
No.
What I saw her as was and I guess this is how perspective changes things for you. I saw her as a dynamic person who was unafraid
to be
different from everyone else in the room, because she was always exactly different from everyone else. All the preppies, all the nerds, all the geeks,
oh, yeah.
all the neo-maxis and dweebies.
I've had that in my head too. I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always going to go to that little speech and So,
but I see that I can see myself relating to her as well. Unfortunately, I have always said, even though I've never sat through this whole movie until now, I've always said I had a version of Ducky that lives in the back of my head cracking jokes. That's who lives in... that is the immaturity in the back of my head is Ducky.
While I visualized Iona as, me as Iona, in reality, in practice, I portrayed Ducky in school.
Mm-hmm.
That's who I was. Even before Ducky was Ducky, I was Ducky.
Yeah.
I was always the good friend because I had so many identity issues anyway.
Yeah.
Still trying to come to terms how I was supposed to deal with all of that. I didn't have a platform like the cis people did.
Mm-hmm.
They had a platform of what the relationship stood for, how they would define it, everything else. I didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
So I'm using... my autistic ass is using everything I see in TV shows and films. For, like, my first 3 quote-unquote girlfriends were based off of Who's the Boss. I was using Who's the Boss as the basis of how I acted in our relationship, which is why they didn't last.
But Tony's not a bad role model.
No, but he's not a good role model.
He's not.
Because there is no boss. That's the trick is there isn't a boss.
Okay, Ahmed.
I'm just saying that I based a lot of, what I did on other things that I saw. And Ducky was like the amalgam of that. Ducky was like the iconic... They just gathered together everything they saw from the early 80s and put it into one person.
Yeah.
And that was this incredibly... diverse, like, I don't know, ADHD, crazy cyclone of a kid.
Yep.
And that's kind of who I was then. Mm-hmm. Because that was how I thought you were supposed to be. I was trying to put a platform where there was none in order to support any kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And because I couldn't define myself, I certainly couldn't define a relationship. So it always failed.
Again, though, I totally see I think the reason why maybe other adults during that time saw what we are seeing now about Iona mimicking and just chameleoning herself to appease those around her. I have to wonder if it had to do with the time as well, because again, that's what I was doing. I was, again, it was my whims. And sometimes it was to fit in, but a lot of times it was just my whims of how I felt during that time and what I wanted to make myself look like. If I had a freaking mohawk, a green mohawk for a while. Again, shy kid and hiding in the corner. Yeah, I had a fucking big ass green mohawk. And
peer groups can influence it. People that you hung out with.
Not in that situation. I mean, the people I hung out with, they all wanted to be rich people. Yeah. So they all dressed like the rich kids. And here I am, this freak of nature that would walk around. And I didn't have friends that were freaks.
Oh, I was with burnouts, but I always wanted to be a goth girl.
I wanted to be a part of the new wave kids and the freaks and the nerd, and I didn't fit in with them either. But I tried, so I was the new kid. I was always the fucking new kid, even though I'd been with all these kids since 6th grade. I was still considered the new kid. So yeah, it. I
kind of sounds like you were Andy.
Yeah, kind of, but not. But again. What I'm saying is that I wanted to be like Ducky.
Sure.
But I think I was more like Iona as well. But I think it had to do with the time period of why maybe the adults during that time period, they saw what we're seeing now as adults about her chameleon behaviors. Sure. She kind of like Ann Perkins changes for every boyfriend.
Sure. And I think we all do that to a point, but she's doing it and falling in love within the span of just a date.
Yep.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
So, let's see if this film, Pretty in Pink, will pass the Castellini test.
I think it will, though.
I'm holding my cards back. There have to be at least 2 named women characters with at least 5 lines of dialogue each.
Iona and Andy.
This is true. Also, I would accept Jenna.
And Benny.
All right. Those characters must have a conversation, not necessarily with the other woman, either not about their partner or with their partner, future or current, and not about their relationship. This is where it's going to get hard.
Andy was bitching about not studying and not taking school seriously to Ducky.
Andy talking to her father about their mother.
Yep.
About
jobs.
And not just about her mother, but about his well-being and him being depressed.
Yes.
So, I guess it does pass that.
Yes.
Damn it. I had a good one there. At least one of the women has to be integral to the plot, meaning that if she were written out of the film, it could not reach the same ending.
Andy.
You think they wouldn't have had a prom without Andy?
Well, they would have had a prom, but there wouldn't have been a movie. Who would have been the pink and the pretty?
I think Ducky could pull it off.
I think he could.
Especially
Not
that dress.
Well, yeah, he
would make that dress styling because he would put that boa around the waist.
Oh yeah, we'll see. And it's all I can hear is Michelle Visage going, hog waist, cinch it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I've been watching too much RuPaul.
Yes, I know it's amazing. I know it's crazy. It doesn't sound like it should be true.
This is 1986.
But Pretty in Pink somehow passes the Castellini test. Yeah. I mean, Andy does have autonomy.
She does. She's got a lot of autonomy.
Iona has autonomy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, she owns her own shop.
Yeah. Ducky has autonomy despite being,
Well, all the kids do because they don't have a fucking adult who's actually adulting.
There's not an adult to be found unless they're talking to Ducky.
Yeah. Or the principal. Because the principal, when she gets in trouble.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only one.
And the two teachers that we saw in the whole movie.
Did we see teachers?
We saw the one in both classes where Benny talks shit at her. I
don't remember any.
Well, because the teachers look like they're the same age as them.
I know, it's weird, right?
Holy shit.
Maybe they're undercover.
Narcs!
So it does pass the Castellini test, and I am a little sad about that. I kind of thought it would fail it. Not because I was hoping it would, but because, it is a John Hughes film. And a lot of times...
I have a feeling that, that Breakfast Club will pass as well.
Maybe.
They don't talk about... I mean, they're not talking about relationships.
Well, we're not going to go over that.
No, I'm just saying. They're not... I'm just saying. I think it'll be fine. Okay, so... If you want to relive the 1980s in a cliched kind of way, you can watch Pretty in Pink on Peacock, YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango, Amazon Prime. You can watch them either as a subscription or rent it for $3.99.
I just want to point out that Pretty in Pink came out in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
Wine became bad in 1986 and was bad until 1989. Just something to think about. I'm not saying Ducky did it. I am saying John Hughes fucked up the wine.
Oh, now I want to see...
Bad grapes. No, I don't know.
No, but now I have to wonder... I've told you about the movie Bottle Shock with Alan Rickman. And it's about the California wine...
Industry.
I have to look. It's in the 80s. I know, maybe it was the 70s. It might be the 70s. Never mind. So I'll take that over.
Wine became bad. I mean, it just didn't come out of California very good.
Well,
it was bad.
It didn't until something happened while they were... Yeah, that's what this... It's a good movie.
But it was good. 1986 through 1989.
Mm-hmm.
Just could not get good wine.
If you're an Alan Rickman fan, the Bottle Shock. It's a good movie.
Is it my turn to do the thing? Or did you already do your thing?
Yeah, it's your turn to do the thing now.
I'm going to do the thing now.
You do your thing.
This has been Once More with Feelings with Beth and Michelle. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at OMWFPod.
Woohoo!
Visit our page at oncemorewithfeelings.podbean.com. Or you can send us an email at omwfpod@gmail.com. Take a moment to subscribe and rate us on iTunes or wherever you listen to our podcast.
The edible kicked in.
I haven't even taken one yet. I'm high on life, baby.
Woo-hoo.
High on life.
So our hints for next week's movie that I'm not even sure if Beth remembers what I picked out because this is the last
you're the one that
minute.
picked this one.
Okay, and both of us have not seen this movie, so this is actually going to not be a once more. It's just going to be a with feeling.
Does it have the voice actor from Captain Caveman?
Close.
Really?
No.
Oh.
So here's your first clue. This sleeper hit became the highest grossing independent film of 2019. And this movie stars an individual with an intellectual disability, a former Disney kid, and a Nepo baby. And that's your clues for next week.
Jeez, I can give them better clues. If you email me at omwfpod@gmail.com and send me $5.
Oh, you want them to send you $5? I thought you were going to give them $5.
No,
That's
gonna
why I told you
send me
last week that you didn't
$5.
have $5 to give.
I will give you the answer.
She doesn't know the answer.
I will guess the answer for you.
She's already forgotten the answer, even though we've already had the conversation.
You picked this movie. I did not pick it. I have not seen this movie, nor do I care about this movie. In fact, I'm asking everyone to boycott this movie. No, I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a comedy, I'll give you that much.
Aw, I like a comedy.
Yes.
I don't want to cry anymore. This better not make me cry.
It has a little bit of a bittersweet ending, but it's mostly
No, just sweet.
happy.
Why put bitter and sweet? That's wrong.
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet.
No
But
one
I
needs
do
that
know
kind of
of the
bullshit.
movie, and I'm excited about it because
Okay.
it has
What's
some
that
of my
movie?
it has some of my favorite people in it.
What's that movie that had the gang? It's the gangster movie, but it's all children.
Oh, Bugsy Malone.
Bugsy Malone.
Oh
That's
my
a
God!
good
Was it
movie.
Scott Baio and oh God!
Damn
it
it!
was
It's
Jamie.
got Scott Baio. That fuck.
Oh my God! What's her face? I know Scott Baio, the little fuck.
I mean, I love Scott Baio. Before I knew Scott Baio was Scott Baio.
Not. I keep wanting to say Jamie Lee Curtis. Not Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh my God. She was in everything in the 70s.
Oh, that
Blonde.
doesn't name anything. Goldie Hawn?
No, no, not Goldie Hawn, but blonde, and she did a lot of kid. She's a kid movie. She was in why can't I think of it? Never mind.
I'm just gonna look it up.
Okay.
Keep them going.
Da 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 da.
Bugsy Malone.
Da 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 da. Na 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 da 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 na da 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 dun dun.
Well, this isn't going to help us at all. This is ridiculous.
It gave you the gangster and not the actual movie?
Yes.
I thought of that as you were doing it. I'm like, shit, she should have actually put Bugsy Malone the movie.
That's ridiculous.
It is called Bugsy Malone, right?
I don't think it is.
Oh, what the fuck was the name of that movie?
No, it is.
It is?
It just, there's several.
It's,
Apparently there are several. Jodie Foster.
Jodie fucking Foster. I knew her name began with a J.
No. Jodie goddamn Foster, not Jodie
I knew her name
Foster.
began with a J, but for some reason all I could get was Jamie Lee Curtis because of the Freakier Friday, whatever it is.
Oh, man, it's got so many people
Oh,
in
I
this
know.
that I just didn't realize. I mean, when did this come out?
Oh, it's like the
76.
Yeah, I was going to say 70s.
I was a kid and I thought this was
I
a
was 2.
fantastic film.
I was 2, but I saw it when I was older.
Maybe we should do this on a show.
We should. And
I mean, it is not going to have a whole lot of emotional depth,
you know
but
what
it'll have a whole lot of fun.
And you know what? If we're going to stick with that flavor, Johnny Dangerously.
Hell, no, Johnny Dangerously is a damn fine
I know,
movie.
that's what I'm saying. And that flavor, though, of a gangster movie.
I love that movie so much.
The blue balls.
That's nostalgia 101 right
Oh,
there.
we need to add those 2 movies to our list.
Michael fucking Keaton is one of the
I love
best,
him so
one of the best
much.
non-actors in the world. He can't act his way out of a paper bag.
He just bees himself.
But he bees himself so well that he could get a goddamn Oscar if he even tried. He is so good at being him that he is actually fooling people into thinking he's acting.
I have a few.
That's how good he is.
Michael.
That's how goddamn good he is.
I mean, and honestly,
I'm trying to earn our explicit rating.
Okay, motherfuckers, here's the thing. You can come at me. Hey, if you want to have an argument with me in email, come at me. Michael Keaton is the best Batman.
Okay, I think that's... No one's going to argue that. That's ridiculous. Everyone knows.
And Prince had the best Batman soundtrack.
Okay. Again, no one's going to argue this with you because You're just saying things everybody thinks. No one's thinking anyone else is a better
No
Batman.
one's thinking Val Kilmer was the better Batman.
No one's thinking
Bale.
George Clooney is the better
Clooney.
Batman. Val Kilmer was a better Batman
That's
than
true.
George Clooney. And I like George Clooney, but the fucking nipples?
The nipples. It's the
God
nipples.
damn, man, the nipples?
And well, the thing about Michael Keaton, though, is I like how everything had to turn. He couldn't just turn his head. Everything had to turn.
I know.
Shoulders.
He was beating bad guys with an impediment. He had literally one arm strapped behind his back, and it was a puppeteer.
And him and like the second Batman with him and Michelle Pfeiffer, they had the chemistry.
You're getting a lot of extras in this.
Oh my
program,
God, y'all!
so
I have ADD and I am on a.
I'm not going to.
I did not
take this out.
Well, here's the thing: I don't sleep well at night, so for the first most of the day, I am a zombie, and this is the point of the day where I wake up. So now I'm awake.
Let me talk about this film.
Okay.
So, just want to point out Ducky. One of the things I found really cringy about Ducky is when he did the pregnancy offer.
Oh yeah, when he walks up to the two girls and he's like, "I can get you pregnant by the weekend."
By the end of the day or by the weekend or whatever. And they hit him.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yep.
I was like, this is so. I do not remember Ducky being this crass.
Perv. Because I think you don't want to remember that. You want to remember him being.
I think so. I think that's
just
true.
Cute and adorable. And again, that's all I knew about this movie was Ducky.
It was the strangest, mix of preppy and geek and punk.
I would honestly, if you had asked me about maybe, I don't know, a few years back before I had ever seen this movie, who she ends up with, I would not have known whether it was Andrew McCarthy or James Spader. I wouldn't have known the difference. Because I wouldn't have known.
They're functionally the same person.
They are, but I was looking at them going, they could play brothers.
Here's what's funny, though, is actually I know someone in high school who actually sold us our first weed.
Do you look like James Spader?
Weed. He didn't look like James Spader. If he did, I would have tried to have sex with him.
Because that was a hot man.
Yeah. But he was rich.
Mm-hmm.
He treated his parents' house much like this.
Like Steph, yeah.
Like Steph did. And he had weed everywhere and treated it like it was a cigarette. Like he was doing during the scene with Blaine. And he's very casual about selling it. Very casual about how he did it. And we bought from him several times. I never bought, actually. My friend bought. I've never bought weed in my life.
I've never bought my own drugs. No, they've always been given to me.
Until edibles, I had, in my 50s, I'd never bought weed in my entire life.
Yeah.
Yet I always had it around because friends of mine never went without it. It's weird.
Okay. Well.
I'm glad we had this so that now I have the FBI on me.
I've said worse. They've not come after me yet.
Yeah. I think the FBI is a little different now.
That's true. They're not cheering me on for eating cereal after not eating for 3 days. Good you taking care of yourself.
I don't understand that.
Oh, you don't remember the meme of the secret FBI agent who keeps track of your computer time? And they're like, you ate a bowl of cereal. Go for it.
That reminds me, the Blaine hacking the
Oh my God, the
computer.
computer. I have that note too. Okay, computers in the 80s did not run that fast. I had an 8088 and it was in 1994 and that thing didn't even run that fucking fast.
And you were not going to program anything to do the graphics that he did at the spur of the moment. There's no fucking way that's happening.
She barely got the freaking question mark entered in and there's a new picture up. It's like, no, there ain't no way.
So, yeah, the hacking is bullshit. First of all, he's not geeky like that. No way he did that.
And I'm sorry, that would have been an ASCII and that would have been horrifyingly bitty. And no, again, we had an 8088 with a green screen. We called it the snot machine. It was... and that was in 94.
So, yeah, that was another thing in the movie.
Yes. On that note...
Street Zamboni.
Why don't we have candy machines in our bathrooms?
I mean, I can put one in our bathroom, I guess. It would be weird. Is that what you're wanting?
Yes, I want a candy machine in our bathroom. The dogs are crying. I think that's
weird place to
our
put
note to get our asses off of this and go and walk the dogs.
You know you're talking like that just because I'm going out with Blaine.
Blaine? His name is Blaine? Oh, that's a major appliance. That's not a name.